Hoarding is a problem for a lot of people. It's often much more than holding on to a bunch of clutter or being just a clutter bug is what they call it a lot of times. So here to talk about a study underway at the Institute of Living, Dr. David Tolman is with me. And you have been on several shows across the country, from Oprah to TLC's Hoarders. But tell us about this new study at the Institute of Living that's happening right now.
Well, we're only beginning to understand hoarding as a psych disorder. A decade ago, nobody was studying this topic. We're increasingly learning about what's happening in the brains of people who engage in hoarding behavior, and we're learning about ways to try to treat this kind of problem. So we're doing a study now in which we're providing a form of counseling called cognitive behavior therapy to people who have hoarding disorder, and we're watching to see what happens in their brains over the course of that treatment.
So what does that therapy entail?
The therapy entails largely teaching people how to make better and more efficient decisions. It involves gently pushing them to do things that are harder and harder, and working to sustain their activities to declutter their homes and make it safer.
And what are you hoping to learn from the study?
Well, what we hope to learn first is the effectiveness of this treatment. We want to understand how many people are likely to get better, and we also want to understand when somebody gets better, why did they get better? What did we affect in the brain, and how can we be even better at that?
And so how would people come to you if they think they may have a problem or think they know someone who might have a problem? We
encourage everybody to get in touch with us. One of the easiest ways is at our website, hoardingresearch.com. All they have to do is go to the website. They'll see some information, and they can talk with any of our staff members and ask questions.
And how would somebody know if they maybe have a problem? Because everybody has a junk drawer, right? But it's going beyond that. If the junk drawer turns into a junk room or even more so, when does it sort of get into the problem area?
I think you're on the right track.
Because not everybody is messy. I mean, everybody has an element of messiness. Not everyone can be a neat freak. Although I would love to.
Yeah. I got more than a junk drawer. I got a junk desk.
Sure.
But I think where we start to see the distinction is that when the mess starts to impair functioning. That is, you could have a messy kitchen, but if you're still able to cook in it and effectively, if you're still able to sit down and eat in it, if you can still walk through it, that's probably just messy. In hoarding disorder, what we start to see is that the clutter has gotten to the point where the person is losing their ability to function in the house the way that they want to.
A lot of times, at least what I've seen in the show, Hoarders, there is an element of not wanting to give up, not wanting to discard something. A card from Christmas 12 years ago.
Absolutely.
We want to still hold on to that. That's what these people are going through.
Yeah, this is probably the core symptom of hoarding disorder, is that the person just feels like they can't let go of things. They have this drive to hang on to things.
Their life will be drastically missing and changed if that small, what would seem as insignificant to you or I, if that thing is discarded.
Yeah, either I'm going to lose out on some opportunity or some information, or I'm going to waste this, or somebody might need it, or it just feels sentimental to me and I feel like it's going to rip a piece of my life away.
Right.
A lot of us feel that way about some things.
Sure, everyone has their sentimental things.
But in hoarding disorder, you have to imagine this is being spread to maybe even a room full of stuff, so the person can't shut it off.
Yeah. And we have to imagine for people who are suffering from this disorder, is that what you would call it, that there's almost a little apprehension of wanting to get involved with the study.
Sure.
Because they know it's going to be work. They know it could be painful and difficult. But what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think that what we find is that working through any kind of behavioral health problem takes effort. And it takes a certain willingness to talk about things that you'd rather not talk about, think about things you'd rather not think about, and do things you'd rather not do. Unfortunately, that's the process by which we change things. And hopefully what people will find is that the payoff is worth it. The payoff of a cleaner house, but also a safer house and improved functioning is worth the very temporary comfort that comes from challenging yourself in therapy.
Now, in your experience, do the people who are suffering from this disorder, do they know deep down that they need help, and that they're just too afraid to reach out?
I think there's a range. I mean, I think there are some people who really don't seem to have that level of insight at all, and they don't even understand it's a problem.
So in that situation, you might need someone to step in.
Sometimes you don't even clue into it until somebody talks to you about it.
Or
some family member or the town or somebody you know says you've got a problem. But then there are other people who really understand that this is a problem. They just don't know what to do about it. And there's everything in between.
Yeah. Now, you do have some events coming up where people can go and
That's
get
right.
more information.
That's right.
And we're going to have all of that on our website.
Great.
But there are varying dates, right?
Yeah, we're going to be at the Hartford Public Library this Monday. We're going to be at Blueback Square in West Hartford later in the week. We'll be in Wethersfield next week. So we want to just get as much information out as possible.
Right. All right. And they're obviously easy to access.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Again, we'll have that on our website. So you can just head over to fox61.com.